My name's Anthony Allen. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Anthony Allen Edits, the YouTube channel that is all about your editing so that you can have that full creative control over your media editing. And in this video, we're going to be having a look at title inserts. So let's get you inserting some titles into your project with Final Cut Pro 10. You would need your browser open to get this started. If you don't have your browser window open, have a look at my workspaces tutorial, which is earlier on in the 10-part series for Final Cut Pro 10 beginners. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're not going to click on the first icon, not the second icon, but the third icon that has this T icon just here. And you can see that it says show or hide the titles or generators sidebar. So I want you to click this. Okay, so now this is all of the titles that you should have available. This is your installed titles. And this should be the first thing that you see. Now you can use the search bar to find yourself a title. So right here in the search bar, if you're looking for a specific title, what you would do is you would type that into the search bar within that browser. And as you can see, it's now brought up more than one fade title that I have installed within my Final Cut Pro 10. Let's just go for a standard generic fade. So what you do is you'd click on this. You can obviously sample it by scrolling backwards and forwards, and you can showcase what the title preset looks like. We're going to drag this into the timeline, into the section that we want to insert the title. Now there will be a default length on this to begin with. So once I've dropped it down, that's the length of the title to begin with. And as you can see, it's given me a default font, the one that was given on the preview, and it's white and it blends in too much with what we've got here within this clip. You can then actually use on-screen controls and or the inspector. So once you've selected what you need to, you can actually close this panel window if you like to. We'll do that now so it's just not in the way and we can see more of what's going on in our preview window. Let's show you the on-screen controls first. So most titles that are installed in Final Cut Pro 10 have on-screen controls. What do I mean by this? I mean that literally you can click on the title and you can move this around. As you can see, there are yellow lines that appear on the screen. This is basically telling you that it's actually centered vertically and horizontally. If we're on the vertical line of the whole entire video, you can see that yellow bar is there. And the same works for the horizontal line as well. So we're going to completely center this title for the meanwhile. So as you'd notice, once we clicked onto the title, it then populated our inspector with the title. But this is literally the text inspector. If we go over to the title inspector, which is actually different to the text inspector, you will get different things to toggle and play around with. In the text inspector, you can do things such as change the font, change the size of the font, and you can change the face, the outline, the glow, and give it a drop shadow. But for the purpose of this tutorial, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually click on the title inspector. Let's click on that now. You have similar controls to what is given to you within the text inspector. For example, if you change the color of the font, obviously the text will change color. But in the titles inspector, you can actually change the color of this also. So if we change this to a red, you can see that it actually changed red. You can actually toggle the title accordingly with the controls that are given to you. For example, the build out is a fade out. So it's the transition of when the font is ending, when the title is ending, for example. So it fades, that is the build out. If I check mark this off, it won't fade away. And the same for the intro of the text as well. You can obviously toggle the duration of your title by dragging the edge backwards and forward, by clicking and holding and dragging backwards and forward. And you can do this for the intro of the title also, change the duration from the front end rather than the back. Another thing you can do is you can change the font to what you would like. Each title insert has its individual parameters that you can toggle. Not all titles are the same, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're using fade. So for example, if I were to choose something else, we may not have the build in and build out available. When you're inside of the text inspector, you can actually change what the word says. When you've got what you're looking for, you just simply play that through to have a look and preview what you have created. This has been a part of an official series that I've been running here on my YouTube channel, and we're nearly at the end of the Final Cut Pro 10 Beginner's Guide. So we'll be moving on to our next piece of software, our next editing platform, and if there's something that you would like to have a look at, then definitely hit me down in the comment section down below. But for now, we're going to end this one, and there's another one coming up next.